Thanks for watching, everybody. It's Around America. This time we stop in Dallas, Texas. We're talking to Professor A'mera Frieman with the Dallas Women's Success Initiative. You are the president and the founder, correct?
Yes.
All right, let's start there. You've got an upcoming conference, and I want to get to that in a second, but can you explain to us what the Dallas Women's Success Initiative is?
Well, the DWSI, or Dallas Women's Success Initiative, is actually an initiative under our nonprofit, Stopping the Madness. And it actually, the programming is for girls and women to have more positive personal and professional development and actually work together in a more positive and open way.
All right, so when you started this, what led you to starting this initiative?
Well, the statistics actually, they showed that females and girls under a certain age, they have more negative conflicts and they are mostly the instigators of bullying. So we actually took that and we ran with it and created something that creates a positive atmosphere, empowering, and gives some education at the same time.
All right, so now you're talking about in the workplace, correct?
Yes, in the workplace, at school, even in family or friend gatherings.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about, for a female in the workplace or in school, what are the obstacles? What are they facing?
There's a lot of competition. There's also a lot of, or I should say a lack of communication and the willingness to actually communicate with each other because of that competition. The statistics that we've seen are that in schools, in colleges, and in the workplace, that because of that competition and lack of communication, it's also a gap in being able to work together. So you see a lot of negative conflict, and we aim to negate all of that into a more positive, open, communicative atmosphere.
All right, yeah, and you picked up a pet peeve of mine, communication. Boy, I tell you what, in the communication field that I'm in, we're terrible communicators with each other. But communication, good communication, can really solve so much, right?
Yes, it can. It all comes down to interpersonal communication as well as being able to do a self-reflection. A lot of the times, feedback is an issue. So we make sure at Stopping the Madness and DWSI that's one of the first things you do. You get coached on communication. All
right, your conference is coming up towards the end of March. What will happen at the conference?
We're really excited about this conference this year. We're going to have more interactive workshops and more panelists, some even in media that we're having to come out and talk to us, because the one thing that we concentrate on at DWSI is giving practical knowledge, something you can take back and use.
Right.
So this year we actually are going to have a passport book that creates an action plan. So everybody that comes is going to be leaving with an action plan.
All right. So when you say you'll have a media component, what will the topic be exactly?
What you just said, actually, communication.
Communication. All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how.
Why do you suppose we aren't so good at communicating with each other?
Well, it does all come down to sometimes a lack of knowledge, a lack of willingness to get to know our fellow man, as well as a lack of empathy or emotional intelligence, or low emotional intelligence, I should say. So we have to start reaching across the aisle. We have to start reaching across the desk. We have to start just reaching out to each other to get to know that person and what their goals are so they can match up with ours.
Yeah, because we tend to isolate ourselves a little bit when we feel either intimidated or we don't have enough of the information. And so we, instead of reaching out, we sort of draw into ourselves. And that's the problem, right?
That is one of the biggest problems, wanting to be isolated or pulling into ourselves, or having even a negative self-reflection that can't bridge the gap. And so we have to start building together.
Professor, thank you so much for your time. This was very interesting.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, folks, there we have it in Dallas, talking about the Dallas Women's Success Initiative. I'm Vic McCarty for NewsNet.